Guys, how are you? Hope everyone is doing extremely well. So I was very pleased with the feedback that I got from my anxiety video. I'm so happy to know that a lot of you are willing to be open and to share your stories and to share your gratefulness for something like this. And I'm very grateful for you guys because it's not easy to talk about it. A lot of people, I feel like it's not talk about because people are afraid to talk about it. And that's nothing to be afraid of. This is real life stuff. And a lot of the times, I've noticed some people say, well, you don't look like you have anxiety. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to look like? A hot mess? Like, a lot of people who deal with anxiety and depression look fabulous. They walk around with a smile on their face. They're always going. They're always busy. They're the life of the party. It's like, when people say check on your strong friends, you really should, because a lot of strong people, including myself, I used to be the type that I would worry about everybody else around me and put myself last. And in the past couple of years, I have learned that it is a necessity to make and put myself first and make sure that I am okay from my head down to my toes, from the inside out. And I encourage you guys to do the same. So today I just want to make a short little video to just let you guys know what I have done over the years. I used to be really, really bad when it came to anxiety. Now I'm at a place where it's almost non-existent. And the only time that I really get anxious, if I get anxious at all, is if I am upset about something and it's really bothering me emotionally. I can get to a point where it gives me anxiety. So number one, what I have done over the years is, and again, this is my personal testimony, this is what I have done. I have made prayer a top medicine for myself. And let me tell you, it has worked. I know that sometimes it can get very discouraging because, you think that it's almost like rubbing a genie out of a bottle. Prayer doesn't work that way. You really have to have faith and understand that things in life will happen, and it's all a matter of how you handle them. And what I pray for is, I pray for strength. I pray for clarity. I pray for understanding. And I pray for endurance, because whenever life throws you something, in order for you to get through it, you have to endure the storm till the sun comes back out. You understand what I'm saying? So definitely endurance is something that you really need. I pray for patience. Even though there are times where I don't understand why things are happening, or I may not understand why I'm in a certain situation, I will take some time to myself and just ask God for guidance. I will pray for an open mind and a clear mind to see and understand what's going on, right? Because you can get really lost in a situation if you if you are in a space where you're anxious and stressed, and no good can come out of that. So if you don't pray, that's your personal preference, then take some time to yourself to evaluate the situation. Try to get to a place where you say, okay, you know what, this doesn't feel right. Let me give myself a minute or two to kind of analyze this really quick. Is it worth it? Is it worth me stressing over? What am I going to feel 5 minutes from now? Is it going to change anything 5 minutes from now? You got to kind of check yourself in the moment as much as possible. And if you're in a situation where you can't really do much at the moment, then say, you know what, I'm going to deal with this a little later. I'm going to go ahead and just go about my business, and then really take time to dig deep into yourself and say, you know what, I will not allow this to take over me. So prayer is very big. I have also acquired an exercise called tapping, which is something that Tyrone taught me. And then I did research, and it surprised me how many people do it, and it actually really, really works. You have got to get to a place where you are grounded. You've got to believe in it. You've got to have, your energy's got to be really good for you to understand what it does. And What it is that I can probably show you in another video. Maybe me and Tyrone can get together and do one together. But it's tapping on your pressure points. There are certain pressure points on your face that you tap, and it really does help with anxiety and stress. If you guys go and Google tapping for anxiety, there's a lot of information out there on this technique that really does help, especially in the midst of an anxiety attack. You want to just automatically get to it and do your research on the pressure points that help. It also does help reduce rapid heartbeat. It helps put you back in a calm space. So that's another thing that I've done to help with my anxiety. And aside from that, over time, what I have done is I allowed myself to do things that I enjoy, as hard as it may be, especially when you're in a space where you're not yourself, or you feel like it takes everything in you to get out of bed in the morning. Because trust me, I was at a place 2 years ago where I was in a deep hole and I didn't know how I was going to come out. And I began to go back and, you know, I guess rekindle the things that I enjoyed to do. I enjoyed going to the bookstore and sitting on the floor and reading books. And so I began to do that. I enjoyed taking myself out to lunch, because let me tell you something, and this is going to tie into another video. I'm going to tell you how complete you should be. You should be so complete that when you have a significant other, you don't rely on them to complete you. You should automatically come in already complete. So that is another conversation for another video. But that's how I can't wait for somebody to take me out, or I can't wait for friends to have time for me. The time is now. I need to take care of myself now. So I've taken myself out to lunch, and it's been the best thing, because it's just me and it's my freedom, my space. So I allow myself to do that. I also love to write. I journal. I probably have about 5 journals over 10 years worth. So I love to write. I sometimes write in a way that makes me feel like I'm talking to someone. And there are times where I have written to the point where I feel like I can't write anymore. And when I tell you, it's like something lifted off of me. It really does help. Just putting your thoughts on paper, even if it's writing a letter to whatever, and just kind of folding it up and then reading it to yourself and saying, you know what, I can get through this. It does work as a piece of therapy that you can use to help yourself get through it. I've also purchased a couple of self-help books, which I will share in another video as well. They deal with anxiety. They deal with just staying happy and positive. Workbooks that you can use to kind of monitor your episodes and how to help yourself with that, and stories about, you know, other people who go through the same thing that you do. So it's always good to read and know that, oh my gosh, yeah, that's me. Like, you would feel like the book is talking about you. Like, I love diving into self-help books, because whenever something has gone on with me, I always do my research, whether it's my health, my mental, anything like that. Like, I always want to make sure that I take care of myself in that way too. So that's also important. Also, grounding yourself is another thing. Just making sure that you're grounded, that your energy is good. Always take time for yourself. Always take a few minutes out of your day every day to, and I've read this somewhere, and I think a couple of people have told me this too. There's this thing where you take 7 to 10 minutes out of your day. Take those 10 minutes, stress about whatever you want to stress about, and leave it there. Do not take that to the next few minutes or few hours of the rest of your day. Take that time to deal with whatever you're dealing with, and tie it up, put it in a box, and throw it over your shoulder and keep it moving. It's easier said than done, but allow yourself that time to deal with something and then move forward. As many times as it takes, it's going to take some practice, but that's another way that you can de-stress. Also, exercise, going for walks, especially stepping outside of the house. I love nature. I enjoy walking at the park. I enjoy walking at the beach. That to me is always so soothing, where I can just allow my thoughts to just flow out of me and walk and feel, you know, not only get exercise for my body, but exercise my mind too, and just let go of those things that are weighing me down. So other than that, you know, I mean, as a woman, I would go and maybe pamper myself and get my nails done. And, you know, I'm a hairdresser, so I have come across a lot of people who have gone through a lot of trauma in life. And when I tell you, they have left my chair telling me this is the best time that I have had. You could have been in my chair for 5 to 10 minutes. If I can make you smile, if I can make you feel good about yourself for that time, then I feel like I've done my job. You know, so do something for yourself. You know, we're always so busy to do for us, and we want to do for others. You need to take time to take care of yourself. So pampering yourself is another thing. Even allowing yourself to take a nice hot bath, which is another thing that I love to do. I love taking baths. Essential oils, dropping a few lavender oils in there, you know, and just allowing yourself to just relax, let the day just seep out of your pores and start fresh in the morning, you know, and just allowing yourself to just be okay. It is okay to be okay. And I think that a lot of times when it comes with, you know, when it comes to anxiety, you know, we worry about having anxiety. We worry about being scared, and we scare ourselves back into an anxiety attack. And, you know, it's hard to say, you know what, I felt this before. I have gone through this before. I know what this feels like. This is familiar to me. So you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Unless something different changes, I'm just going to get through it. Another thing that I do is I do deep breathing exercises, which I've also learned in self-help books. Whenever we have anxiety attacks, we always tend to hyperventilate because our body is in flight or fight, and your chest muscles are contracting, which is what causes us to feel like something's wrong. So naturally we're like, and we're shortening our oxygen in our lungs when we do that. So whenever you go through an episode, allow yourself the time to close your eyes, sit somewhere in a corner, breathe in deep with your stomach, not your chest. Make sure that you're breathing in all the way in till you fill your belly. And then it is very important to breathe completely in, and breathe in with your nose and out with your mouth. And make sure that when you breathe out, you are breathing every bit of air out, because if you're not doing deep breathing exercises properly, you can give yourself another anxiety attack because you feel like you're not breathing right. So what you want to do is take your time, close your eyes, breathe in, and breathe out until you can't breathe out any more air. It is very important. And when you can do that at a slow pace, you find yourself relaxing even more. So that's one very big thing that I encourage you to do, is deep breathing. As far as diet goes, I'm gonna save that for another video, because things that you drink and eat do trigger anxiety, and some people don't know that. And I've learned mine over time. So other than that, guys, I mean, that's just a little bit of what I do and what I have done over the years that have helped me. I use it now as maintenance because I don't get anxiety as much, but I use it just to remain happy, to remain stress-free, to remain worry-free, to just stay in a good space and good energy. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Leave a comment below. Let me know if this is something that has helped you, if you've tried this before, anything that I haven't mentioned that you guys can tell me would be great. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Hit like, share. This won't be the last video. I hope this helps you guys. And I just encourage you guys to just be strong and understand that you're not alone. And we're here. We're open to talk about it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're not judged by anything. You're not crazy. You're not sick. You go through what millions of people go through every day. And guess what? We're still standing. So you will be okay. Toodles.